Hi, so for anyone who's new, my name's MJ. I'm a trans man. I started my medical transition about 9.5 years ago. I've had top surgery. I was on testosterone for about 3 years until I decided to discontinue because it was impacting my liver. So this is actually a good question. The reality is in terms of looks, testosterone didn't really do much for me. I mean, this is me before I started testosterone. I really honestly look exactly the same except I have less teeth. I wish that this was something that was talked more about in the trans masculine community, but testosterone realistically is really strong. Obviously, I have to say this. I'm not a physician. I'm just going off my experience over the past 10 years and what I've seen, so take what I say, for what it is, just my experience. But testosterone, it is a very strong drug. And although the amount of changes that people see and when they see them varies from person to person, it does tend to hit a lot of people fast. Like, I know trans men who, like, within a month, like, they were just immediately passing. Like, it was unreal. I did not experience this, and actually, at the beginning of my transition, I really struggled with it. I was really angry. I wasn't seeing changes as fast as other trans men who started at the same time as me, and I was mad. I was so mad, actually, that I had to go through and hide updates from my friends who were also trans men if they started around the same time as me, because I literally, it was too painful. I know that sounds, like, silly, but it was. It was too painful to watch them, like, reach all these milestones, and I just wasn't reaching them. In my case, it had nothing to do with, like, the amount of testosterone I was on. Because of my liver, like, we were constantly trying to find something that fit, so I was on different doses for extended periods, and I still look like this. This is for several reasons. For one, it's genetics. Most men in my family do not have a lot of facial hair. I remember when I first started testosterone, I asked my dad, I'm like, hey dad, how old were you when you finally were able to grow a beard? I thought he'd say, like, I don't know, like, maybe like in his 20s, and he's like, about 40. I'm like, shit. But it's not just that, it's also like I do have very, like, soft feminine facial features, and I know anytime I say anything that could be remotely taken positively about myself, people don't like when other people love themselves. But it's not only that, like, I always joke along with other people that I look like a real life Bobby Hill. I just do have, like, a really young looking face. They always say the black don't crack and the fat don't crack. I have a chubby face no matter what weight I am, and I gotta tell you, it's working for the no wrinkle thing. But it also makes me look feminine. I have rosy cheeks and stuff, so I think that counts against me, and it is what it is. I wish that more trans men spoke out about not passing a lot. I see a lot in our community of people, like, looking for reassurance that they do pass. But generally speaking, our community can be a little toxic because everyone's trying to prove themselves. Not as bad as it used to be, but still kind of bad. Nobody wants to show any vulnerability because in our society, vulnerability is not synonymous with masculinity, and so they just want to stay away from it. And this coupled with the fact that, honestly, like, if someone's assigned female at birth, they are more likely than not going to have some facial features that are, like, considered more feminine. And feminine features in general are a lot, I want to say, more malleable, but I don't think that's the right word. It's easier sometimes for testosterone to shape, and I think that's sometimes why we see, like, trans men passing so quick, because the testosterone just boom hits them. I actually talked to my friend who's a trans woman about it. We talked about how, like, it's different for, like, trans men versus trans women, and how with trans women it's spoken about a little bit more, like, on not passing, stuff like that. When I found out that my liver started to fail on testosterone, I was even more pissed off, because I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, so now this is the end of my journey. Like, barely anything has changed except my voice, and now I don't know if my liver is gonna get better, which it did, but I didn't know at the time. Over the years, it's been easier for me to accept that I don't always pass, and this is just how it's going to be, because I've realized that there's benefits on both ends of the coin. For instance, obviously, like, a trans man who has a beard, who, like, is really muscular, who, like, has a deep gravelly voice, obviously they have the privilege of waking up in the morning and just going through life without really worrying as much about people clocking them, which by clocking I just mean, somebody realizing that they're trans. And that is something that, even to this day, like, I don't think I'll ever not wonder what it would be like to experience that. But at the same time, I also have some benefits going for me. Number one, if I do feel like there's going to be a situation where I need to pass more, I'm able to do what I need to do to shift my features and ensure that I can pass more. It's a lot of work, that's why I don't do it all the time. And honestly, I kind of feel like I look better just as me. But if safety's an issue, obviously, Also, if I thought that it was necessary, I could detransition without an issue. This is me after I already had top surgery. I had been on hormones for years, but I detransitioned. Surprisingly, even with a big king tattoo on my neck, I was able to blend in okay. Somebody who has a full beard, who is a lot bigger, who has like a gravelly voice, they wouldn't be able to as easily achieve that. So there's good and bad on both sides when it comes to safety and comfort. So yeah, if I had to like sum all that up in one word, I guess I would just say genetics.